Hey, ha, how's it going, y'all? Now, I was tagged by No BS Survival to do a video on my goals as a woodsman. Okay, and I didn't think I was going to be able to do this video. I wasn't sure, wanted to, but I've been, as some of you know, I've been working on my Dakota pit tent, and I wanted to get it done first, and I wanted to get it uploaded. But it's amazing how when you get into these complicated projects, that if you just take a pile of lightweight aluminum tubing and try to weld it into a frame and put in a chimney and then put on a dual cover, I mean, it's incredible the obstacles you get into, and it's become very complicated. And it's going to take a little while, so I thought, I'll go ahead and do this video. Because, these tags, they're kind of fun. It's raining outside. I'm outside of the shop. That tent is in there. It can wait, whatever. So, but anyway, on this video, my goals as a woodsman, okay? Not to sound brash or not to sound like I don't have any kind of enthusiasm or lack of enthusiasm, but lack of get up and go. I have no goals as a woodsman. I mean, I pretty much, I've done everything I've wanted to do, and I've learned everything that I've wanted to learn as far as that. As far as like just saying like, oh, I want to be able to do that, I want to be able to do a hand drill, and things like that. I did all I wanted to do. And so now, but if anything, now it's more along the lines of what I want to do is not necessarily as a woodsman, but kind of, but as a YouTuber, what I want to do is I want to share knowledge that's not out there. So I guess you could say that would be probably the only really goal that I have right now. The rest of it is just me having fun, goofing off in the woods like I have done forever. But sharing knowledge on YouTube, it's a good thing, and there's a lot of information out there that's just the same old recycled information over and over and over, and I think it's great for people to put things out there that no one has seen and things that people can learn from. So naturally I could just end the video there by saying, oh, that's my goal, but I got to show you something. Alright, now I got a few comments since one of my other videos about lanyards on knives and machetes. Okay, now this is going to be a good example of what I'm talking about information, new information being put out there, because I may be wrong, but I've only seen 2 lanyards out there on YouTube. Well, actually there's 5. The first one, I don't know the name of it. The second one through the 5th, there's the thumb lanyard, there's the over lanyard, the under lanyard, and then there's called the 3-finger whip. And I'll show y'all them real quick. I was saving these for my machete video, but this can be a safety issue, so I'll show it later on in that video, and I'll show you now, because you never know when it's going to come in handy. But anyway, alright, let's take a look at a typical machete here. Alright, typical lanyard, whatever it is on the back, paracord. It can be weaved paracord, it can be whatever. Okay, now most people know, I don't even know the name of this, most people, they will put their hand through and they will grab it. Okay, just like that. Now what happens if you lose your grip gets loose, you drop it. Okay, well, it swings on your arm. Okay, now see, that's pretty cool, because if you're by a river chopping something down and you lose your grip, it won't go into water. Or better yet, if you're chopping down and you're over rocks, you drop your machete, it won't chip, ding, or tear up the blade, because you don't want it landing on the rocks. And another important thing too is you don't want it landing on your foot. Okay, now that is what most people do. Now the real way that you're supposed to do it is you're supposed to put it with the blade facing out. Okay, you put it on your thumb. Okay, blade facing out. You bring your hand over and grab it. Okay? And see what it does then is it locks in. Even if your grip gets loose. See? It kind of, if your grip gets kind of loose, it'll still kind of dangle on your thumb. And it'll still, you know, it'll fall off. Another cool thing too is if you're up here cutting, you know, you're chopping something and then you need to like pull some berries or some apples or some fruit off, you just drop it and then you do your thing with your apples and put them in your pocket and then you can grab it again. See? Another thing too is you can just swing it back up. You can let it down, do your thing, and swing it right back up. Okay? Now that's called the thumb lock, or thumb. It's the thumb method. Alright, now let's go with another one. There is, let's see, we'll go ahead and do all of this one, except for I'll show you an example of the other one. The other one is called the over handle. There's an over handle and an under handle, okay? Now what you want to do is you want to lay this on top. Okay, this is the over. Lay it on top and grab the machete, okay? Now, I'm turning my hand and then you just scoot this up on it. Okay? Now, what's important about this, see my thumb? I'm not even holding on to it. This is a very, very, very extremely important grip for a machete. Okay? You can pull it on up in there. That way, if you got a lot of chopping to do or if you got a weak grip, see, you just have to just barely hold on to it. And you can chop all day long and you won't get tired. See, isn't that neat? Alright, I'll show you that one more time. Because I showed you the other one and I've showed it in another video. It's the over the handle. You just lay it on top of the handle. That's all there is to it. And then you put your hand through and pull it up over. See, I'm scooting it up over on my hand. Y'all need to practice these too. And see, I'm not even holding on to the machete. It's locked into place. Okay? And now once you figure out these to fit your hand, the same size lanyard will work for all of these positions. Okay? Now, I'll show you something else. That was the over the handle. Now the under the handle, I want you to look at this machete right here. You see how it's got this nice piece right here that when you're holding on to it, it keeps your hand from sliding up on and getting cut. Okay? Well, not all machetes have that. You see this one? The other one was an Ontario. This is a K-bar. Now the K-bar right here doesn't have that. There is a distinct possibility that you might slide your hand up on it. Now the other way, let me pull this over. And I always use paracord for my lanyards. This is the under. Okay, I'm not going over the handle, I'm going under the handle. Okay, I just went under and it's up on top. Okay, now while it's up on top, you put your thumb in and grip it. Now what happens now is as the machete wants to slide back, see it this way, see as the machete wants to slide back, see how I'm pulling back on it? It won't be able to. Let's see if I can get that in there. See the machete as you're chopping your hand, if your hand wants to slide forward, it's not going to be able to. Here's another view of it. I don't know how well you're seeing these. You may have to practice them in your own yard. But once again, okay, remember before I went over and then I put my hand through and pulled it around and locked it? That's the over. Now, the under, you come up under the blade and then you lift them both up. Okay, and then you put your thumb through. And say I'm pushing this way on that blade and it's not going to slide in my hand because it's locked. Okay, no matter how hard I pull down on it. Okay, now For the last one, it's called the 3-finger whip. Alright? Now the 3-finger whip, when you have a long machete, that long machete, you've got the full length of your arm coming down, chopping. Okay, make sense? Alright. If you have a short machete, or what's called a mini machete, or a small knife. Now I haven't put a lanyard on this one, so I can't show you, but I can show you with a bigger one. With these, the blade is so short on a knife or a mini machete, you don't have that chopping length. So you got to kind of whip it. Okay? Well, as you're whipping it, if your hand was further down the handle, so you have more of a natural whipping feeling. Now, this is pretty well known. There's been a lot of people that's taken this and they've just grabbed the lanyard and whipped with it that way, but it could fly out of your hand and you got to have a serious grip. So, this is the 3-finger whip. I've never seen it on YouTube. Okay? Let me find it. Take the machete, blade backwards, and put it over 3 fingers. Okay? You got your little finger and your thumb free. Roll your hand around, and you're going to wind up holding onto it with either 1 or 2 fingers. And that blade, you're going to be able to give it a whip. Instead of using your arm to cut, that little bitty blade, whip. Whip. See? You'll get the feel of this too. It looks kind of idiotic while I'm doing it on the video here. Like I say, 3 fingers back. You got the blade facing outwards. Roll your hand up and grab the blade. And see, you're not holding on but just the very edge of the handle. But it ain't going nowhere. See? Isn't that neat? Alright, I could have ended the video at 2 minutes, but see, I mean that's one of my goals right there. Showing neat stuff and showing neat stuff you can use, showing things that you haven't seen before, and showing things that will keep you safe. Okay? Years ago I had a lot of machete injuries. Thankfully I haven't had none in about 10 years because I kind of know my way around a machete, and with those 5 lanyard choices, there's pretty much a style to fit every machete, every handle, every large knife for every situation. Okay, so I got to tag some people. Usually tags are 3 people. I'm gonna tag 4. I'm gonna put them at the end of the video because I got a list of people I want to tag. So, all right, now back to my Dakota pet. I'm gonna run back in the shop and start working on it. I'm really excited about it. But I hope you had fun and I hope you learned a little bit of something. Take these lanyards, apply them to your knives and machetes. Be safe, and we'll catch you in the next one.